gonna have to up on
The next topic we gonna touch is one that I feel like is near and dear to all of our hearts. Are y'all familiar with the scandal that's going on in Dallas County's own DeSoto, Texas? DeSoto,
Oh, my
Texas
word.
Independent School District?
All over Facebook.
All over
Yep.
Facebook. So I don't know how I want to tackle this. I think we're going to spend a significant amount of time on it. I don't know if I should open it up and explain it or if I should just lead with the video. So you know what? I think that the latest and the greatest of what's going on in DeSoto is enough to open Pandora's box for us to take it all the way back and explain how this whole shit started. So should I start with the video or do you want me to open it up and explain it?
I say go ahead, do a quick synopsis of it real fast. Just a real quick.
Synopsis of it real fast. I'm glad you said that, Ant, because I took notes.
Amen. Look at you, boy. You took a damn note in high school. Now you're right.
Man, you remember, I graduated in summer school. I'm not proud of that fact. I'm not proud of that.
Hey, what format he got that in, Ant?
It's damn sure in APA.
Hey, listen. So real quick, this is the quick synopsis, and I'm gonna go into detail after the video, but I just want people to understand what the timeline of DeSoto shit was looking like. All right, so 2013, 2014, Texas Education Association. I don't even know if the association had noticed it at this time, but their investigation found out that back in 2013-14, that the district had been misusing the budget designed for the school. So what they were doing was they was taking the school budget and they were spending it on personal expenses like luxury hotels. They were taking vacations to Las Vegas, and I think one person even went to Venice, Italy. It could have been a Venice in the Venetian in Las Vegas. I don't know, but I know they were spending DeSoto's tax money for the independent school district on those personal expenses. Fast forward, 2018, 2019, the Texas Education Association, they did an audit on the budget, right? And that's when they find out that the school district was spending this money on personal, not the school district per se, but the employees within the school district, the administrators in the district was spending this money on personal expenses like vacations and flights and lavish hotels and things of that nature, right? So they change the school board up through the elections. They get new people in there, and they bring in a young guy by the name of, I want to make sure I get his name right, DeAndre Weaver. That is the new school superintendent for DeSoto ISD in 2018, 2019. Fast forward, DeAndre Weaver puts in his resignation from DeSoto ISD. He does not give a reason for why he's resigning. This is 2020 this year. I believe it starts in August. He puts his resignation in. I could be wrong, but he resigns. Doesn't give a reason for why he's resigning. The school board, not the state, because I got it wrong. I thought it was the state that brought this guy in, but the school guy, on the recommendation of a previous superintendent for DeSoto ISD, decides that they have a recommendation for somebody to take over as superintendent while the old superintendent is resigned. And they bring in the guy by the name of Don, let me go back to my notes. Don Hooper with an H, Don Hooper, they bring him in. Fast forward a little bit more, still in 2020, Don Hooper has some salacious Facebook posts on his Facebook account that is super, super racist in nature, that criticize Colin Kaepernick. And I quote one meme that he had posted says that, well, and I'll let you take this one because you remember the memes better than I do.
Yeah, basically he wrote a meme saying, a political meme saying something like Democrats have not been this upset about Republicans since they refreed their slaves. Basically,
That's right. That's right. That's right. The Democrats have not been this upset about Republicans since they freed their slaves. And so that sparked a whole controversy. Now, here is a loop that y'all probably have not noticed. I've been doing my due diligence and research on this. Guess what happens after that?
Actually, right now you can play the video. It'll tell you the rest of it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, just
Hey, listen.
you understand. You don't say much damn if you understand what quick synopsis means. Don't appreciate you. Appreciate you though.
There's more to it that the video doesn't explain, and I'll explain that after the video.
Yeah, all right.
Are you ready to get into it? Ready, Roy?
Yeah, ready.
Let's get it.
Superintendent faces calls to resign after his now deleted Facebook posts went public. If Mr. Hooper was honorable, he would immediately step aside. Friendship West Pastor Freddie Haynes saw posts like this one. Kaepernick? Never heard of her. And Democrats haven't been this mad at Republicans since we freed their slaves. At best, he gets an F in racial sensitivity. At worst, he has the heart of a racist. The question is, how do you put someone like this in a position of responsibility, knowing they have this mindset and they now preside over educational policy? I mean, that's dangerous.
Madam President, I don't support this motion.
Board member Aubrey Hooper voted against Don Hooper's appointment Sunday.
I would actually support going with someone that has community roots.
And on Wednesday, Aubrey released a statement saying, I will be moving swiftly to attempt to convince my colleagues to rid the district of leaders who share such insensitive and abhorrent views. The acting superintendent released an apology saying, the content in question does not reflect my leadership, character, nor career. I love all people, regardless of the color of their skin. Karen Daniel, the board president who voted in support of Hooper's appointment, said, Dr. Hooper has apologized to the district and assured the board that he is committed to leading with sensitivity and integrity and serving the students, staff, and taxpayers of DeSoto ISD with fidelity. But for some, an apology isn't enough.
Time for them to undo the damage that has been done, and they need to go back to the drawing board.
In DeSoto, I'm Alex Rosier.
The infamous Miss Daniel.
Man, oh man.
The infamous. Hey, first off, white people been doing this shit for a long time, bro. They say shit and then come back and say, this is not a reflection on my character.
Mm-hmm.
I care about all human beings. This, and that.
Facts. But yet we gotta walk on eggshells still every day of our job, no matter where it's at, either a high job or a low job. Hell, Obama quit. They still blaming that motherfucker for shit. He ain't quit. He at the end of his term, he's still getting blamed for some shit that had nothing to do. He had nothing control of with it. They get mad at him because he used to like play basketball at the White House and shit. They still giving shit about it, but he can say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna throw this racial shit out here," and all of a sudden, ain't that big? Don't got nothing to do with what I gotta say.
Hey, but you know what, Chris? When was DeSoto at the height of their football stuff? Wasn't it in 13, 14 time frame?
I think 13, 14 was the time I think they went to state or something like that. Because
that was the year that all the high school, all the players got scholarships that year.
Yeah, I wonder, was all that frivolous spending and stuff covered up by the athletic program? And as I stated before, DeSoto U, what they call the athletic program in DeSoto U, because DeSoto was pushing out so many D1 athletes and things of that nature, that I wonder, was this stuff kind of pushed under the rug? And now that they had that whole issue with the coach and all that kind of stuff, and all these, it's just been a snowball of events going on in DeSoto, that now everything's just coming to light.
Roy, let's go into what the actual media people say about it, because you know they do their due diligence and they get all of the details, right? The actual factuals. So this is what was reported back from 2014. Credit card statements detailing antique luxury hotels and rides around Sin City shows district spending problems predate last fall. In December, a video shows an assistant superintendent, Gabriel Laminier, and her husband riding a gondola in Venice. Merry Christmas, Laminier said on the recording. We're on a day 14 of this trip. It's going great. Laminer partially paid for her personal European vacation. Hold on. Let me restate that. Partially paid for her European vacation with her DeSoto ISD credit card. She's not the only one who used her district card for personal purchase. Records show that assistant superintendent, wait a minute, the assistant is involved. Assistant superintendent Lavada Levels on vacation in 2017 during the same time. She used her district issued card, charged a dozen Uber trips, not in Dallas, not in DeSoto, but around Las Vegas.
Ain't that convenient?
The superintendent, David Harris, attended a 3-day conference in San Francisco, but Harris didn't fly until after the event's first day ended. Hold on. Did y'all catch that? It says that same summer, then superintendent, David Harris, attended a 3-day conference in San Francisco, but Harris didn't fly in until after the event's first day ended.
He probably was in Vegas.
Somewhere.
On the 3rd day, receipts show he was 70 miles away eating lunch north of Napa. Come on, y'all been to California, and I know you've been to California. You know Napa Valley. That's wine country up there. That's
yeah, it is.
Good eating up there, man.
Apparently so. So much good eating, your ass can't make this damn conference on time.
Now this is the superintendent from 2014, fellas. Harris spent 2 extra days in California after the conference ended, charging the hotel, rental cars, and meals to who? Not his personal account, but the account of DeSoto ISD. The questionable charges go back as far as 2013 when Harris booked a flight to Los Angeles for his wife and 3 children. And Laminer bought a ticket for Fort Lauderdale for her husband. Damn, so they going to Vegas, they going to California, they going to Venice in Europe, and they going to goddamn Fort Lauderdale near Miami on DeSoto's tax dollars. Y'all know they shut DeSoto Northside Elementary down. They didn't have enough money to cover the expense costs of keeping Northside Elementary open in DeSoto.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just heard about it.
Yes, they did.
Where they going to, Moats?
That's a good question.
So here's the deal, fellas. Almost after that, right? They go into 2000. This shit goes all the way up into 2018, right? That's when the shit comes out. The scandal comes out in 2018 about the budget. DeSoto decides they want to clean house. It's an election season for the city of DeSoto. The superintendent, I think 2 spots were open for election. And then, of course, like Roy was saying, they had the whole athletic scandal for the athletic program. And then, you know, they just start cleaning the house and replacing people. Enters DeAndre Weaver. Now, DeAndre Weaver comes in after all this shit is a big deal, right? He inherits all the bullshit. He's charged with taking over and cleaning up the mess that DeSoto made. Now, I don't know if you see here. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weaver inherits a $21 million deficit, not surplus, fellas. That means in 2018, when he came in, DeSoto was in the fucking hole for $21 million, and that's why they shut Northside Elementary down. They couldn't afford to pay the fucking janitorial staff. They couldn't afford to pay the teachers. They couldn't afford to pay the administrators. They couldn't afford to pay the utility services. They couldn't afford to keep a fucking school open for a majority Black school district. So, in this document here, it pretty much talks about Weaver resigns. I'm not gonna go into detail on this one. I'm not gonna read this because we're pressed for time. I know you're keeping the time, man.
Yeah, I'm watching.
DeAndre Weaver resigns as superintendent, but it doesn't give a reason for why he resigns. He doesn't explain why he resigned.
Shit, he probably was saving his damn ass.
Yeah.
He probably
He
took
tapped this
over.
shit
He
before the
probably
sink.
he realized what the hell he had got himself into, and was like, "Oh nah, I ain't going out like that, Black. I'm out."
Hey,
And he dropped his resignation. He got up out of there.
But
what my
hold on.
man say on the wire? Not no DeSoto law. She.
But hold on, Ant.
Not the
Hold on, Ant.
DeSoto law.
Hold on, Ant, Roy. He resigns, right? He submits his letter of resignation. Enters Don Hooper, the recommended guy for the DeSoto Independent School District to take over as a superintendent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I thought that he was brought in by the state. The state did not bring him in because they did not fire DeAndre Weaver. DeAndre Weaver resigned. So the school board had brought in Don Hooper. The president of the school board is none other than the famous
KD
English teacher, Mrs. Karen Daniels.
Hey, you're the lover or you hater.
Yeah, it's one of them situations.
I didn't have Miss Daniels.
It's a thin line.
Oh, being that man.
Hey, we don't want to talk about that, man.
Yeah,
hey,
we have.
My bad for leaving you strung out on that project.
Hey, it's all
hey,
good.
my bad, dog. Hey, I just couldn't handle it no more, bro.
Hey, it's all good because she let that project slide because there was some things that probably should have not been in there.
Oh, you know what? Nah, you know what, y'all motherfuckers. Roy?
Hey, that's when it all went down, bro. That's when it all went down, bro.
We're going to keep that on the...
Keep it rolling.
Hey, keep it going, man. Hey, keep it going, man. Next subject. What a ratchet subject cat.
Okay,
let me finish this one up.
Let me get back to it. So Karen Daniels is the school board president, right?
Right on.
The shit comes out, as Ant says, and you guys can see it here. Democrats haven't been mad this long since the Republicans freed their slaves. And then it's not only just that one meme that he shared, his political views and his social views. He had a whole bunch of racist and biased, bigoted shit that he had on his social media platform, right? So he goes into, he doesn't go. Before he goes, Miss Karen Daniels goes into defense mode, which I don't blame her for doing because she is a school president. But the problem is the way she went about doing it didn't represent the best interests of the district or the taxpayers of DeSoto. So I'm not going to read this whole thing. You guys can, if you're watching this podcast or listening to it, you can go to focusdailynews.com. The name of the article is DeSoto ISD responds to acting superintendent social media post. I may put this link in the description. I may not. It depends on how much I remember after this podcast. But that's where you find her letter as a response. But I'm going to go ahead and explain, summarize what the letter is. And she goes into apology mode, and she pretty much states that Dr. Hooper's social positions do not reflect the opinions or the thoughts of the school board and this and that. And then I think she kind of goes into kind of like cleaning it up and saying Dr. Hooper apologizes for his social media posts and all this and that. And she talks about his credentials and all this and that. But at the end of the day, what she does not do as the school board president, she doesn't say, we need to fire Dr. Hooper. Now, keep in mind, this is a majority Black community. When we came up in 2003, it was pretty much majority Black. We had some white folks we went to school with, but I'd imagine now
it was a new Oak Cliff, man.
It's a new Oak Cliff. You'd be hard to find some white folks in DeSoto these days. And for the superintendent to be talking the way he is, that pretty much relates to Black people and Black kids, instead of saying we're making moves to remove Dr. Hooper or just not saying shit at all. If you didn't know what the fuck to say, don't say shit at all.
I mean,
into cleanup mode and PR mode, caping for him.
Yep. And that's why I believe she messed up. And my whole issue about it is, why do we have to sit here and, first of all, how can you have that position in this community, in that community of DeSoto, and you having feelings like that? And like I say, man, people want to blame who they want to blame. They want to save who they want to save so much, man. And shit should be fair across the board. If I can't get my happy ass out there and say some outlandish shit like that without repercussion, without having to worry about, damn, am I gonna get this promotion or not? Can I do this? Can I do that? Hell, I know we both, all three of us, had got to some situations that some of our opinions have messed around and cost us some opportunities for a friend.
No, most definitely.
So why he get, oh, I'm apologizing, and then he got people backing him up behind it too. Because the word I heard on the street is his apology letter, she wrote that for him. Slapped his name on. That's what I heard on the street. But hey,
Right?
they do.
Right?
That's my shit to get me mad
Now
about.
wait a minute. We got two more pieces to this DeSoto thing before we move on to our ignorant shit. But Roy, I want to get your opinion on this.
I'm gonna just say this, man. I'm just sick and tired of people in positions of authority not making good sound decisions. You know, that's basically what it boiled down to. Even if, you know what I'm saying, the man is the biggest bigot or whatever and all that kind of stuff or whatever, like when you in a position of authority and you in a position and a stature that he's in or whatnot, your personal thoughts and your personal views on stuff, you know, a lot more comes with more responsibility. You know what I mean? And sometimes you have to suppress a lot of things in order to allow the, you know, for the greater good to happen and to make sure that you continue to receive the following that you getting, you know, right. And the leader and the, you know, just the followers to keep following you and stuff like that as a leader, and him being in a position like that and to come and say something like that, you know, it's uncalled for, you know. As far as should apologize for the whole thing. It shouldn't have been said anyway, because if it was the shoe was on the other foot, this probably would have made national news. Right. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and like I said before, last time I was on here, you know, in these days and time, people coming out saying a whole lot more stuff than what they used to. You know what I mean? And that's just another prime example of, you know, having the courage to put something on there like that when normally, you know what I mean, they probably wouldn't do it, but because we in what we in, you know, feel like they can do it and get away with it. And so far he's gotten away with it. And that's the part that irritates me and that burns me up, is that he's getting away with it. And he should not get away with that.
I agree.
Don Hooper didn't know where the fuck he was at.
I didn't know where the fuck he was at.
You think so, Ant? You think he realized he was in the majority black? Listen, we go back to DeSoto.
I don't think so. I think he was thinking back of DeSoto back in the day.
Back day.
That's what I'm saying.
Back in the day. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because you gotta remember when we went, it was still my majority black. We went to school with white people. White people were a minority. Hell, right. Mexicans were a minority in DeSoto. And you know how deep Mexicans roll.
Yeah.
I think it's a cross between both. He knew where he was at, but he didn't know where he was at. I think he knew he was in a minority community, but he didn't realize he was in a majority black minority community.
He knew that. He just didn't know some of that black community was tired of could see his damn Facebook shits. And didn't think they're going to be at our raise. That's what he did count on.
Old ass motherfucker that don't understand technology. Is that what you're saying, Ed?
Hey, probably so.
All right, so
them bookers of face get you every time.
This is the last part of this story that I'm gonna share before I let you guys close it out and we move on to our ignorant shit. You see down here on this screen, I'm about to highlight it. DeSoto ISD rescinds acceptance of Dr. DeAndre Weaver. Now, this was published on September 6, 2020. That was less than a week ago, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe my numbers are off. But my comprehension is not off. This is pretty much saying that the school board decided to rescind Dr. Weaver's resignation and bring him back on as the superintendent. Now, this is my concern. Dr. Weaver resigned on his own will. Nobody fired him. Nobody told him to leave. As far as we know, that's in the publications. He left on his own. This new guy comes in, acts an ass. They realize after the backlash, they don't even fire him as soon as the shit comes out. They don't fire him as soon as the shit comes out. But as soon as the backlash comes, they realize they need to do something and do something fast. Next thing you know, they bring Dr. Weaver back, and he's now back the acting superintendent of DeSoto ISD. What do y'all make of that?
That is
That's a doozy right there, man. I don't know.
So you say quit to get up out of it. Now, it can be two things. It can be, hey, my resignation, so I ain't got to deal with this. Somebody back there like, no. You stay and ride this bitch out. It could be that, or it could be, hey, man, we about to black dynamite this shit. We about to watch us flip this shit. Hold on to that job real quick. It could be one or two ways. I don't know who's playing the cards. Listen, I ain't at the crib. I think all my young peoples that I know that's going to school ain't in DeSoto at the moment. So I'm gonna have to look a little deep into that.
Right?
Yeah, man. So he dropped his resignation, and then they said, "Hell no, you're not resigning.
They should do that.
Your ass is staying here."
Wait a minute, Roy. He submitted it. Let's get it right because we got to follow the timeline. He submitted his resignation. He never says why he resigned. He never says why he resigned. They bring the new guy in. The new guy get caught in some racist shit. They have to fire him. They don't try to fire him at first. They come back after the public, which is majority black, says, get his ass the fuck up out of here. So they fire him, and then they go back and say, no, we are not accepting the resignation of Dr. Weaver. And then that's how Dr. Weaver ends up coming back as superintendent.
Oh, they have to fire me, bro. They have to fire me. They have to fire me. Like, hey, ain't no way I'm gonna have my name in this shit, bro. Like, it just ain't gonna happen. Like, you can't. And Dr. Weaver's name sounds very familiar, man. And I don't know where I've heard that name at before. I don't know if he used to be a substitute teacher or something. Like, I don't know. His name sounds DeAndre Weaver sounds very familiar. And I don't know where I've heard the name from. But he cannot get caught up in this, man. He cannot get caught up in this. Like, he got to find a way to get out of the situation, and we'll go to another school district and do great things there, whatnot. But he cannot get bogged down and tied up in this DeSoto mess and have that associated with his name, man. Like, and I mean, he want to talk about slave, the comment he made about slave stuff. That's, think of the slave mentality DeSoto had over him. Now that's deep.
Yeah.
Tell that man tried to resign, tried to leave, and you tell him no. Bring your ass back.
We fucked up.
He ain't even got the.
You fucked up, and we want you back.
Right. Like, nah, bro. He got to get out of that situation, man. And he got to get out of that situation. He got to. It's not gonna be a good look for him with all this stuff going on to DeSoto, man. It's gonna take a different type of person to come in there and clean all that stuff up. and it just got to be, rebuilt, man. Rebuilt.
So my closing statement on this, I'll say this much. I don't know how y'all feel about this. I'm pretty sure, I don't want to speak for y'all, but I'm pretty sure y'all feel the same way I feel. DeSoto, even though we not in DeSoto, we haven't been in DeSoto for a while, we haven't even been in Dallas County for a while. As Texans, as Dallas Texans, our hearts are still with the community of our county and our city. It's sad when we graduated in 2003, the accreditation of the DeSoto Independent School District was a gold standard for the state of Texas. Remember, 2003, we won the DeSoto basketball state championship. What was we? We was what, 4A?
We were 5.
5A?
4 or 5.
We were 5. We boosted up to 6. They went up to 6 after we left.
That says a lot about the quality of what the DeSoto Independent School District education system was about. We were pushing both academics and we were both pushing athletics.
DeSoto U.
So
DeSoto U.
Remember, the first article we looked at said 2013. From 2003 to 2013, in a 10-year span, DeSoto goes from being top tier fucking Cadillac to pure fucking garbage, fucking used 1996, 160,000 miles Honda Civic. And that says a lot. And that's one of the reasons why we did this special on DeSoto Education Independent School District, because when you are fucking up the budget so bad that they have to shut down an elementary school. And remember, fellas, they was talking about shutting down Northside Elementary in 2018, 2019, well before COVID was even a thing. That was in the fucking news. Google it, look it up. They were talking about making budget cuts to DeSoto ISD because they were so $21 million. Y'all saw it, $21 million.
Yeah, what they need to get somebody to help with this. That ain't scared to place the blame. Force a responsibility on the people who let that happen. And also, it should let people fuck around, get their asses down in them in the district meetings and whatnot, in the school board meetings, and pay attention to what the hell's going on. Look at the financial reports.
They need
more than one eye.
That's exactly what I was about to say, Ant. They need more transparency. So first, clean fucking house.
You got to.
School board.
You got a clean house.
All of them got.
And you know, another thing with it too. There's gonna be when that does happen, somebody going to jail.
Oh yeah,
somebody going. Somebody going.
They trying to wait for the right person to get that right age where they're about to kick the bucket to throw the blame on them. They look for a scapegoat with that shit. But that's some old conspiracy theory type shit though. But
clean house.
I ain't gonna doubt it.
Bring new bodies in. Set up new transparent programs with an audited budget that gets released to the public every fucking quarter when they do the city council meetings, so the public can see where their tax dollars are going for the school district.
And it needs to be done by an outside entity.
Yeah, outside entity, they do that.
To keep their ass honest.
Yep.
Thanks. DeSoto, get your shit together. Because it's not just the three faces that y'all see up here on this podcast. And I don't want to speak for my fellow podcasters. And I don't want to speak for my fellow classmates from 2003, 2004, 2002, and that 5-year span, give or take, forward or backwards in between. But I think we all feel the same way when it comes to DeSoto U. Y'all are fucking up.
Facts.
0 mileage Cadillac that we turned over. No oil change, no maintenance, no repairs. Y'all just dog the shit out.
Rode it hard. Didn't even put it in the bone. Set in the ring.
Running hot.
Yeah. But that, man, we got to keep it